Good morning, everyone. I'm here at Goats with Horns Animal Sanctuary and Real Time Rescue. We've got Frankie and Esperanza. I do not want to be in the middle of any tussling in case that's what's going to happen. You just never know. You can never be too careful. Yeah, we're almost in July. We're making it through. We are here in the Sonoran Desert, so the summertime and extreme temperatures is something that you will not hear us stop talking about. It's very extreme and it can really take a lot out of the animals and the volunteers here. Fortunately, we do have things like misters and we have multiple freezers so that we can keep ice packs and frozen water bottles on hand, as well as an air conditioned coop for most of the chickens to stay in. We do have a couple of chickens that will not go in. Well, Pretzel will not go in. We call her our wild chicken. And then Stan, if you've tuned in before, you'll know he's our sassy rooster, our ultra protective rooster. And if we put him in there, he would kill the other rooster, or the other rooster would kill him. Um, we do have two separate sections inside of the air conditioned coop, which is right here, but there's a rooster in each side, and Stan does not play well with others, so he stays out free ranging with the turkeys and the misters, and we wet the ground down in the morning. All kinds of precautions are taken to make sure that everyone has the best chance to stay cool. Actually, speaking of best chance to stay cool, if you see all this white, tan, and even some of this dark fur right here, I just pulled all that off of Esperanza. If you remember, she and Suerte are our black belly Barbados sheep. They are hair sheep, so they don't have wool, so they don't get shorn like Albert and Thomas do. But their undercoat grows out really thick, and they don't really enjoy being brushed too often. So we kind of try to pull it off, and you can get a good view of Suerte. Elliot was trying to brush Suerte, and today he wasn't in the mood, so he walked away. But just look at like the smooth side where he's rubbed some of that undercoat off, and then look at all that undercoat, all that fluff. He'd feel so much better if he would allow us to brush him, but he has to be in the right mood, I guess. So I guess he'll just keep eating some cool, fresh grass to try to stay cool because he's not trying to lose his fur coat quite yet. Oh, here comes Mama. Here comes his Mama. Albert and Thomas both did get sheared this last week. Thomas doesn't usually have to get sheared as often because he is a Dorper sheep. So, no, he is not a miniature cow, although he totally looks like one sometimes. He has half hair and half wool. So, yeah, as you can tell, we do have three different breeds of sheep here, and they're all similar in that they are just very sweet, very pure souls, as we say. The sheep are just so gentle and kind, but they are different in that, their size, what they look like. I always say that these black belly Barbados sheep kind of look like antelope or deer. People always say they're goats. I don't think I've ever had a visitor who said, what kind of sheep are they? They usually just say, oh, what kind of a goat is that? But he is obviously a sheep, and Albert is obviously a sheep as well, but they have so many different breeds. That's something that I didn't realize until I became involved with animal sanctuaries and animal rescue. I knew, there were probably a couple kinds of sheep, but it was something I never really thought about. And then coming to learn in animal agriculture, which we are not a part of, but in animal agriculture, they use different breeds of sheep and animals for different things. For example, if she and her baby hadn't been saved, they are considered a delicacy, unfortunately. So Albert and Thomas over here, they would be probably used for their meat as well. And then there are also sheep that are used just for their wool. And it's just different ways that animals are exploited in the animal agriculture industry. And as I said, we are not a part of that. We are a sanctuary. So we are here to help animals and give a home to the ones that might need one for various reasons. We are now at capacity ever since we took in these last two guys, Merman and Frankie, who their sanctuary unfortunately had to close their doors, and so they were in need of a home. So every Sunday, we kind of talk about, just what's going on, if there are any updates. We did have kind of a scary update yesterday with Princess Buttercup here, this sweet girl. So, those, if you're a gardener, or if you've seen gardens, you probably know, if you buy your plant at a nursery or something like that, they have little plastic identifier tags on them so that you can kind of stick it in the ground in your garden and say, this plant is going to grow into be tomatoes. This is a hyacinth plant, etc. So there was a large one of those tags, and they are made out of plastic, and it must have blown in here, and Princess Buttercup ate it. Two volunteers luckily saw her trying to get it in her mouth, so they ran over, but they were just a touch too slow, and she was just a touch too fast, so she did kind of swallow it, at which point she started choking. It was large. It wasn't one of like the skinny, usually the tags are kind of thin and that you kind of stick it in the soil, but this one was large. It was almost like diamond or triangular shaped, and the awkward shape was causing it to kind of get stuck in her throat. It was a very scary little time we had yesterday morning. She did get it down, but her breathing just didn't sound 100%. So she was brought inside so she could be monitored. If you are not already following us on Instagram, be sure to check in the description box, and you can see our links for our different social medias. I did post this morning a couple little videos of her in the house yesterday. She was getting kind of massaged by one of our volunteers and just given lots of attention. We tried to, make sure it wasn't completely stuck in her throat. We tried to look in there as best as we could. We couldn't see anything. We did give her some lettuce, and she was eating that, no problem. She ate her hay. She drank her electrolytes. Her eating is fine. I believe she was also administered some mineral oil, which kind of helps smooth the digestive tract, because that piece of plastic was, like I mentioned, just kind of an odd shape. We don't want it to be, rubbing around in her intestines. We are still a little worried about that, but from everything we were reading, it should be totally fine. Goats eat all kinds of stuff. They get into all kinds of things, and it should be okay. It was just really the shape of it that concerned us. We don't want it to, cause some sort of a blockage. We also did witness her going poo in the house a couple times yesterday. So that does mean that things are continuing to move. We have to, make sure that keeps going, and hopefully she's able to pass that without a problem. So that was our little drama, our little scare for the week. Nothing really else. Luckily, everybody's, as I said, staying as cool as they can. And we have already moved most of the chickens into the air-conditioned coop for the day. That was quite a little adventure in itself. Giuseppe, the rooster, was giving us a run for the money. Hi, Rapunzel. You can come out real soon. And he was just hopping up, trying to peck at me, and he's never acted like that before. But then again, it's very rare that I have tried to catch him. So, but I did have to catch him out of the other coop to put him into the air-conditioned coop. So I know we talked about how we have to leave them in there, 24/7. But since, even though it is summer and we are having some high temperatures, it's not to the point yet where we think we need to run the air conditioning all night. So we still have been opening the doors at night and then allowing them to, as I said, they are in this air conditioned coop here, and we're letting them come out, and then they'll wander around for a little bit, and then they'll put themselves to bed in their own coops that they sleep in. And then, as I mentioned, in the morning, we have to go in and catch them one by one and take them in there. And that was a little bit of an ordeal, as I said, but we got it done. So let's see if there's anything else. Oh, we did also have this amazing kind of cover built. We've been showing our air conditioned coop and talking about this for a while now, but just this week, Teresa, one of our senior volunteers, lead volunteers, her had a couple family members who were generously came out and built this kind of, I don't know exactly, I forget the name of what it's technically called, but it is like the sunshade. So that way, the roof is shaded and it protects the sun from beating down right on it. So hard, I guess you could say. We do have 2 air conditioning units, one over here and then one in the back for the other side. But you can just never be too safe from getting away from the sun here in Arizona. So yeah, we appreciate that so much. I can't believe how great it looks. He even stained it, you know, got it all weatherproof and everything. So we're very excited about that. I don't think there's anything else exciting to share. So I think we're gonna sign off here so I can keep going with everybody and making sure tidying up loose ends and then releasing the Kraken, as you know we say here. But I wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of our live stream. Oh, good morning. I see Tamara's on this morning. I'm glad you're able to make it. I know sometimes you know, we usually try to live stream around at the same time, but it can vary. So I appreciate when people regularly check in. I hope you have a great day, Tamara, and everyone else watching. And from Julio and the rest of us, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you so much. See you next time.